25 GTA-style and open-world action games on Nintendo Switch. Buckle up, because this list is built for Switch owners who crave that sandbox chaos.
Starting things off strong, number 1 is Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, and it is absolutely the crown jewel of GTA content on Nintendo Switch. This package bundles 3 iconic Rockstar titles into one collection, letting you roam through Liberty City, Vice City, and San Andreas all on the go. The remastered visuals bring a fresh coat of paint to the classics while keeping the gameplay tight and familiar. Whether you are causing mayhem in 1980s Miami or building street cred in Los Santos, this trilogy captures everything that made GTA legendary. It's the definitive portable crime sandbox experience and a must-have for any Switch library.
Coming in at number 2, Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars earns its spot as one of the most underrated entries in the entire GTA franchise. Originally built for handheld play, this top-down crime epic follows Huang Li through a gritty Liberty City drug trade narrative packed with sharp writing and surprisingly deep mechanics. The game features an innovative drug dealing system where you buy low and sell high across different city districts, adding genuine strategy to the action. It is compact, fast-paced, and brutally fun. If you slept on this one back in the day, the Switch version is your second chance to experience one of Rockstar's most criminally overlooked gems. Number 3 brings in Red Dead Redemption, which is essentially GTA with a cowboy hat and a moral compass that barely works. You play as John Marston, a former outlaw dragged back into the life by government agents holding his family hostage. The open world of the American frontier is vast, atmospheric, and filled with strangers, outlaws, and unexpected moments that make every session feel cinematic. The Switch port holds up remarkably well in both docked and handheld modes. Rockstar's storytelling is at full force here, and the pacing feels more intentional than their modern titles. It remains one of the most compelling narrative open-world games ever made.
Landing at number 4, LA Noire delivers a completely different flavor of open-world crime drama. Set in 1940s Los Angeles, you step into the shoes of Cole Phelps, a decorated war veteran turned detective, working his way up through various bureaus of the LAPD. The game's signature feature is its facial animation technology, which forces you to read suspects' expressions during interrogations and decide whether they are lying or telling the truth. The city itself feels alive, detailed, and soaked in noir atmosphere. Combat and car chases keep the action grounded, while the case-driven structure gives the game real momentum. It is cerebral, stylish, and unlike anything else on the platform.
Number 5 goes to Saints Row the Third, which takes everything GTA does and cranks the absurdity all the way up to 11. You lead the 3rd Street Saints gang through a city called Steelport, dealing with rival gangs, corporate villains, and a military organization with extremely poor decision-making. The game throws insurance fraud missions, human cannonball activities, and skydiving gunfights at you without blinking. Character customization is deep and ridiculous in the best way possible. If GTA is a crime drama, Saints Row the Third is the chaotic action comedy you didn't know you needed. It is relentlessly entertaining and fits surprisingly well into the Switch's portable format. Coming in at 6, Saints Row 4 takes everything from the third and adds superpowers, alien invasions, and a storyline so unhinged it is genuinely hard to summarize. You play as the President of the United States who gains telekinesis and super speed while trapped inside a simulation of your own city. The writing is sharp and self-aware, constantly poking fun at both gaming tropes and action movie cliches. Moving through the city at full sprint is faster and more satisfying than driving any vehicle, which says a lot. It's loud, ridiculous, and confidently weird in ways that makes it an absolute blast to play through, especially in short handheld sessions. Hitting number 7, Payday 2 puts you on the other side of the law in a co-op heist shooter that rewards patience, planning, and then complete chaos when everything goes wrong. You and up to 3 other players work through bank robberies, drug lab raids, and jewelry store heists across a wide variety of mission structures. The skill tree is deep enough to encourage multiple builds and playstyles, from stealth-focused infiltrators to full assault bruisers. On Switch, the game runs smoothly and supports local and online multiplayer. If you ever found GTA's heist missions to be the highlight of the experience, Payday 2 builds an entire game around that exact feeling.
Number 8 is LEGO City Undercover, which flips the GTA formula completely on its head by making you the cop instead of the criminal. You play as Chase McCain, an undercover detective working to bring down a crime boss by infiltrating various criminal organizations across LEGO City. The open world is colorful, dense with collectibles, and filled with clever pop culture jokes that hit for adults and kids alike. Driving feels great, the disguise mechanic adds variety to missions, and the city itself is genuinely fun to explore. It might look family-friendly, but the scope and ambition here rival full AAA open-world titles. An excellent portable experience with real replay value.
Landing at 9, The Outer Worlds offers a first-person narrative RPG that captures the anarchic spirit of open-world games in a sci-fi corporate dystopia setting. You wake up from cryosleep on a colony ship and immediately get pulled into a conspiracy involving megacorporations, rogue scientists, and factions fighting over the future of humanity. Every quest has multiple solutions, depending on your build and dialogue choices, giving the experience tremendous replay value. Combat is responsive and systems-driven, with a wide range of weapons and character perks to customize. The writing is razor-sharp throughout, and the world building is rich without ever feeling overwhelming. A gem for fans of narrative-heavy action games. Number 10 brings Watch Dogs 2, Ubisoft's sharp and stylish open-world hacker adventure set in a fictionalized San Francisco Bay Area. You play as Marcus Holloway, a young hacker taking down a surveillance state through a combination of digital warfare and street-level action. The ability to hack cameras, vehicles, and electronic systems changes how you approach every mission, rewarding creativity over brute force. The open world is detailed and vibrant, filled with side activities that actually feel meaningful rather than padded. The tone is lighter and more playful than the first game, giving it a genuine personality that makes exploration consistently enjoyable. A polished and underappreciated entry in the series. Sliding in at 11, Mafia 3 Definitive Edition delivers a gripping crime story set in 1968 New Bordeaux, a fictionalized version of New Orleans during a period of intense racial and political tension. You play as Lincoln Clay, a Vietnam veteran seeking revenge against the Italian mob after they massacre his surrogate family. The story is told through a documentary-style framing device that gives the narrative real weight and cinematic ambition. Combat is gritty and satisfying. District takeovers create a sense of territorial momentum, and the soundtrack is absolutely elite. The atmosphere is unlike anything else in the open-world crime genre. This is a game that takes its setting seriously. Coming in at 12, Burnout Paradise Remastered brings high-octane arcade racing and spectacular crash physics to Nintendo Switch in one of the most polished racing packages available on the platform. Paradise City is an enormous open-world environment where you race, hunt down rivals, and participate in road rage events across sprawling highways and city streets. The game rewards exploration and encourages you to find every shortcut and jump in the map. Online multiplayer adds enormous longevity, and the remaster preserves every piece of original DLC content. If you want the GTA-style freedom of a living city, but applied to racing, Burnout Paradise Remastered is the definitive arcade driving experience on Switch. Number 13 goes to Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, which revives the beloved cop versus racer formula that made the original a fan favorite over a decade ago. You switch between driving as a street racer and playing as a police officer, giving the game two completely different modes with their own progression systems. The handling is arcade smooth, the pursuits are intense, and the variety of vehicles and events keeps things feeling fresh across dozens of hours. The remaster adds cross-platform multiplayer and sharp visuals that hold up beautifully on Switch screens. It nails the same sense of momentum and chaos that makes open-world action games so satisfying to play. Hitting number 14, Just Cause 4 Reloaded drops you onto the tropical nation of Solis as Rico Rodriguez, a one-man demolition crew with a physics-defying grapple hook and an agenda against a shadowy private army. The game's defining feature is its absurd sandbox physics, letting you tether vehicles together, create weather events, and cause property damage on a scale that would make even GTA players pause in amazement. The open world is genuinely massive and stacked with bases to liberate, vehicles to commandeer, and explosive contraptions to build on the fly. It is less about story and more about emergent chaos, which is exactly what the GTA crowd tends to enjoy most. Number 15 brings Maneater, an open-world action RPG where you play not as a human criminal, but as a bull shark on a revenge mission against the hunter who scarred you. You start as a pup in a swamp and grow into a massive apex predator, capable of leaping onto docks, dragging people off jet skis, and taking on rival sharks and military boats. The game is structured around leveling up your shark and unlocking bizarre biological upgrades like bone armor and electric fins. It is funny, gory, and completely self-aware about how ridiculous its premise is. For a game about being a shark, it delivers a surprisingly satisfying open-world loop with genuine progression and personality. Coming in at 16, No More Heroes 3 returns Suda51's iconic assassin Travis Touchdown to the spotlight in a neon-soaked alien invasion that only makes sense on its own eccentric terms. The game blends ranked combat against increasingly bizarre bosses with open-world exploration through a fictionalized Santa Destroy. Travis's beam katana combat is fast, stylish, and completely satisfying to master, with a ranking system that demands you take on increasingly powerful opponents. The tone is irreverent and packed with pop culture references, fourth wall breaks, and moments of genuine heart beneath all the chaos. It is weird, creative, and endlessly entertaining for players who appreciate games with genuine authorial voice. Hitting 17, Bully Scholarship Edition puts you inside the walls of Bulworth Academy as Jimmy Hopkins, a troubled teenager navigating the social hierarchies of the school's various cliques while dealing with authority figures and rival students. Rockstar's approach to a school-set open world is inventive and surprisingly nuanced, capturing the feeling of teen rebellion with real care. The mission structure is tight, the world is compact but filled with personality, and the combat system is accessible without being shallow. It shares DNA with GTA in its freedom, mission design, and narrative irreverence, but applies that formula to a setting that makes it feel completely distinct and fresh, even years after release. Number 18 brings Deadly Premonition 2, A Blessing in Disguise, a quirky open-world mystery adventure that follows both a new protagonist in New Orleans and the return of eccentric FBI agent Francis York Morgan in a parallel storyline. The game is rough around the edges in the best cult classic way, with stilted dialogue and janky mechanics that somehow enhance its charm rather than undermine it. Exploring the world by skateboard, uncovering clues, and watching the mystery unfold is genuinely engaging, despite the budget presentation. Director Hidetaka Suhiro brings such a distinctive voice to the material that it feels unlike any other open-world game on the platform. For fans of weird, atmospheric crime fiction, this is a unique experience. Landing at 19, Cruis'n Blast delivers pure arcade racing mayhem ripped straight from the classic Cruis'n USA machine and turbocharged for modern hardware. This Switch version is the definitive home release of the arcade game, offering outrageous vehicles, including dinosaurs, rockets, and fighter jets, across explosive tracks that constantly defy physics and logic. It is short on depth, but enormous on moment-to-moment fun, making it perfect for portable play sessions or couch multiplayer chaos. This sense of speed is incredible, and the visual spectacle never gets old. Think of it as a GTA-style joyride minus the crime. All throttle, no brakes, just pure kinetic energy from start to finish. Number 20 goes to Alien Isolation, one of the most atmospheric and terrifying stealth survival games ever made, now playable on Nintendo Switch in a version that impresses given the hardware limitations. You play as Amanda Ripley aboard a space station stalked by a single, relentless xenomorph that cannot be killed and must be evaded at all costs. The open station layout gives you freedom in how you approach objectives, and the tension of listening for footsteps and hiding in lockers creates a level of dread that few games match. The crafting system and resource management add meaningful strategy to the survival loop. It is not GTA in tone, but it delivers that same immersive open exploration energy in a completely different genre. Coming in at 21, Assassin's Creed The Ezio Collection brings together 3 complete entries in one of gaming's most beloved open-world franchises, following the legendary assassin Ezio Auditore across Renaissance Italy and beyond. The collection includes Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations, each offering massive open historical cities to climb, explore, and dominate. Ezio's arc across these 3 games represents the franchise at its absolute narrative peak, with a character who grows from impulsive young noble to wise mentor over decades of storytelling.
Free running through Florence, Rome, and Constantinople never gets old. For open world lovers, this collection offers hundreds of hours of quality content. Landing at 22, Assassin's Creed III Remastered takes the series to revolutionary America, following half-Native American assassin Connor Kenway through one of history's most turbulent periods. The frontier wilderness adds a completely different dimension to the classic parkour and assassination formula, with naval missions, hunting, and frontier exploration sitting alongside city-based content. The remaster includes all DLC, including the alternate timeline Benedict Arnold missions and the full Liberation games starring Aveline de Grandpré. The story is more serious and emotionally grounded than many other entries in the series. It may be the most underrated Assassin's Creed game, and the Switch version gives it a new lease on portable life. Hitting 23, Driver San Francisco is a criminally underappreciated open-world driving game that introduced the wildly inventive shift mechanic, letting you instantly jump between controlling any car in the city mid-chase. You play as Detective John Tanner, hunting a crime lord through an enormous recreation of San Francisco, and the car chase action is some of the best ever designed in the genre. The variety of mission types built around the shift ability is remarkably creative, turning ordinary car chases into elaborate puzzle-style sequences. The city feels alive and well-realized, and the driving physics sit perfectly between arcade accessibility and simulation satisfaction. It remains one of the most creative driving games ever released.
Number 24 brings Bayonetta 3, which trades the crime sandbox for a supernatural action spectacle that is among the finest character action games ever crafted. You play as multiple incarnations of the iconic witch Bayonetta across parallel universes, each with her own combat flavor and personality. The combat system is deep, responsive, and endlessly expressive, rewarding mastery with increasingly spectacular on-screen results. The game's Demon Masquerade mechanic opens up new transformative abilities that change how you engage with enemies entirely. Visually, it pushes the Switch hardware impressively, and its pacing is relentless in the best way. For fans of stylish action and open level design, this is a showcase for what Nintendo's platform can achieve.
Rounding out the list at 25, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 closes things off with one of the most ambitious open-world RPGs ever made, set across a vast continent filled with warring colonies, mysterious titans, and a world locked in perpetual conflict. You lead a party of 6 characters navigating a story about the nature of life, duty, and freedom that is genuinely mature and emotionally resonant. The interconnected class system allows deep character customization across combat roles, and the world itself rewards exploration with hidden quests, unique enemies, and breathtaking vistas. Side content is plentiful and meaningful rather than filler. It is a massive, beautiful, and thoughtful open-world game that proves the Switch can compete with any platform for sheer RPG ambition.